Chris, Las Vegas has just been taken over by zombies.
Again?
We gotta go in. Are you with me?
I mean, is there money I can steal?
I'll give you a cool nickname, like the Coyote.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right, I'm down. What is going on, everybody? Critic and the Common Man here, up with the review of the Netflix original film, Army of the Dead, starring Mr. Dave Bautista himself. Dude, ooh, I liked this one. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Before we get into this,
I have some
ladies
issues
and
with
gentlemen,
it. I have some issues with it, but
okay,
I really
all right,
liked it too.
okay. This is your one and only spoiler warning. If you've not seen Army of the Dead on Netflix, go watch it. You will not be disappointed. Come back here and let us know what you think. That being said, Chris, let's get into this thing, man. What did you think? Did you have any initial impressions of this? Did you expect it to be good or bad? And how did it live up to your expectations?
I expected it to be like mediocre. I was like, another zombie movie. I didn't know what to think, but I was also very optimistic because I love Dave Bautista. He's amazing. I've been watching him since his like wrestling days. With that said, the intro to a movie is an art form. Like a lot of filmmakers call it the movie before the movie. Right. And there are entire teams of people that are dedicated just to making the intro. The intro to this movie was dope. It was so well done.
Yeah.
It told the entire story with no words of everything you needed to know beforehand up to this point. And all of the stuff that came like within the first few minutes after, you're now aware of everything. Like you now get what world they live in and you just accept it. An entire section of Las Vegas has been walled in and there are people still in there and the government denies it. Boom, here you go. And it just made for such a weird, politically complex kind of setting. And I don't know, just the whole movie was just well done in itself. And then as soon as you get to the point where they're going into the center of Vegas and all of that stuff and all the action kind of kicks up, dude, it was awesome. It was just everything was well paced.
I was really happy with this, man.
Yeah.
Really, really happy with this. I didn't really know what to expect. I had seen ads for this before it came out and, stuff on Netflix saying that this was going to be good. This was the perfect mix of Zombieland, World War Z, and then somehow like an Ocean's movie where they're doing this heist thing at the same time.
It was a zombie heist. That's what the whole movie was. It was a zombie heist. It's just a
Dude, it was awesome. Yeah. I thought it was awesome. I agree with you. The intro to this movie set it up very well. It did a good job of setting the tone. This is going to be gory. It's going to be a little bit cheesy, a little bit goofy. Yes.
Like for the photos.
But also the zombies, right. But also these zombies are not to be trifled with, and they are very scary and very dangerous. I mean, when that truck tips over and she's on the radio and she's like, "Get the fuck out of there. Get your men out of there." I was like, okay, like this is going down. This is it.
I also love how they called themselves out within, in that with the truck, that whole scene. Not to interrupt. But that whole scene, they were totally calling themselves on it. Like, yes, it's another. Like, what do you say? He was like, "You're gonna make me say it." Aliens, dude. Area 51, like all that. I loved that because they're calling themselves out on how ridiculous it sounds. And then and they know, they're like, yes, it's another exploding truck experiment gets out movie. Just accept it.
Yes.
And we do.
Yes. It's a you get a legitimate reason for them to go back in. There's a significant financial reward in there. A movie like this really relies on its casting.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of movies do, but a movie like this where there's so many different characters and they all have to feel unique, and you want to get a connection, at least positive or negative, you want to have a connection to each character. The casting in this, I think, was pretty spot on. There were a couple choices that I didn't love, but Bautista being the lead was amazing. Somehow they found the female doppelganger of Tom Cruise. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that. Dude, Tig, the helicopter pilot,
she's
look
amazing.
at her face, dude.
I guess he was referring to himself as a he.
Oh, was he? I didn't hear that. I didn't notice.
Yeah,
that.
Well, the character, not the actor.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, dude, he looked just like Tom Cruise, and I was like, is no one like? I like so much so that when he had glasses on, I was like, "This is Tom Cruise from Top Gun. How does nobody notice this?"
Then he ends up being the pilot was too. Amazing, dude. I love that character. Yeah. Funny as hell.
Yeah, that was funny. But it just, and then the supporting cast in this, I liked everybody. The Hispanic dude that they found that just like videotapes himself killing zombies, and they go and they're like, "Hey man, what would you say about making $500,000?" And he's like, "I'd say, who the fuck do I have to kill?" And I was like, dude, I like this guy. Like, I liked the characters.
Yeah.
I was really excited for this, and I was happy to be, because it's been a little while since we've had a fun action movie like this that doesn't take itself too seriously and you can get into.
When they go up to Tig and they're like, you don't even want to know what it is. Like, I assume it involves something to do. It has something to do with the helicopter. Like, just amazing.
She's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Where do I need to be? I'm in. He's like, you don't need to know anymore. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm bored. I'm in.
Yeah, I literally hate my life so much. That was just great.
She's like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah. The casting was pretty spot on, and the acting that wasn't good, the characters were dead within like about halfway through the movie.
They were gone. Yeah, they were gone.
So
let's talk about a big part of this movie that is the zombies. Mm-hmm. Every zombie movie does zombies a little bit differently. Some are Zombieland, where they're kind of doofy and slow.
This one did it
and there's
very
just a lot
different.
of them. Yes, some of them are World War Z, where they're really fast and you really don't stand a chance. And then some of them are I Am Legend, where they're like basically humans kind of thing. Let's talk about these zombies in this movie, their portrayal of zombies. I liked what they did for the most part. I thought some of it was a little over the top.
Agreed.
The generic zombie was fine. It is what they all were. They had the cool hibernating thing, just like I Am Legend. The regular zombies felt kind of I Am Legend-esque. But the alpha zombies are where they kind of lost me a little bit.
Yes, and I'm gonna defend it because it didn't. It almost felt like the military was experimenting on soldiers or maybe dead soldiers, and they created this thing. So it's not really a zombie, more so as it is a new entity or something.
Fair.
And it just happens to have blood that will turn you undead if you die. I don't know. Okay. I kind of got that this was like a super soldier program that kind of failed and turned into something else and got out. And
yep.
I bought it a little bit, but I didn't like the crown that they were wearing, and their whole social structure just felt weird. Like it, for how animalistic these things were being portrayed. It's like the King Kong thing. Where this is a gorilla, but also he's highly advanced.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I didn't like him as much. All the regular kind of generic zombies, I felt like, okay, these are zombies. The alpha ones, both the main guy zombie and then his wife, I felt like they were people in makeup, like doing these kind of like creepy
thick,
movements,
right? Like all their faces were thick, like you could see the latex.
It just they didn't look as good. They were like trying to do too much, like it's just like. That's a real pretty picture there, but like she's like very like. She's literally just like, it's way over exaggerated, the whole thing. The alphas were a little too much. Not the idea of them, but how they executed them. Yes. It looked like people in makeup, like doing like these weird slow-mo movements and like trying to, be all creepy or whatever. It
was cool that they were like offering them sacrifices, and she was like we've got in their good graces, but I'm not going to flaunt it. And it just that whole again, you said it. The idea of them is cool.
Exactly. The idea of what they were doing was actually pretty awesome. Like, there's more intelligent zombies that are willing to play this game of give and take. Yeah. I liked that.
I will say that
Go ahead.
It was weird to me that they brought up the fact, and this is just it's a thing with writing. You don't show a gun unless you're gonna have the gun go off later in the movie. Okay, that's just a rule.
Right.
And because it builds up suspense for no reason, and then you're taking away screen time for no reason. So they brought up the fact, this is a line that was put into the movie, that when it rains, the zombies that are dead come back to life for a little bit, but they're not the same. And they were like, just stick around until it rains. I don't remember the exact line, but the point is they hinted that if these things get rained on, these corpses, that something would happen. Never happened. So why bring it up?
I forgot about that. You're right. I completely forgot about that.
So it's a waste of screen time at that point.
You're right. They hinted at something that they never delivered on. You're absolutely right.
And that's just,
I'll tell you
it's just
amateur
writing, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I kind of forgotten, and now I want to see what happened.
Or an amateur
to be
mistake,
fair,
I should say.
Yeah, to be fair, I have heard that they are setting up for a sequel to this.
A Snyder cut?
And based on the ending, like it's not going to be over. So maybe that rain thing will come back into play. I'll be the first one to say it, and I don't know if you're going to agree with this or not. I thought the tiger was really stupid.
Oh, it was completely unnecessary.
I thought the undead tiger was unnecessary, unfortunately, man. Yeah. I see what they were going for there, but it was like a little too...
It would have been great.
A little too much.
It would have been great to see like a bunch of animals like that got out from like a magic show or something like that, but to just have the tiger made it feel completely out of place. But if you had a couple of them, and maybe one of them still had a chain on its neck, and a dead magician or something, I don't know, it could have been done better. But you do it one way or don't do it at all. So I agree. I think
completely
and the CGI wasn't even great.
Yep, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Let me let this cat out really quick. He's meowing. I think he's got to go to the litter box. We'll be right back, everybody. And we're back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I got a cat I'm trying to litter box train in here. Yes, I agree with you. There could have been more animals, and the CGI on it was a little bit off. I also just didn't like the way it looked. Like it had the one eye that was just like a gaping hole, but then the other... I think they could have made it look a little more intimidating too.
Whoever did the makeup and the CGI for Harvey Dent should have done the tiger.
Absolutely. Two-faced tiger. Yep. I like it. That's very much what he was. One of the plot points that I thought was a little bit goofy also, I feel like they really were quick to drop that nuke on Las Vegas considering there was still people
24
around
hours.
Like,
yeah, we're just going to move it.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't think... Like, they would have had that place evacuated for, like, a week probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just surveying the perimeter, making sure nothing got out. But yeah, they're like moving people out of the immediate perimeter, and then 24 hours later, they're nuking this site, like without checking again. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe also, that's commentary. Maybe that's like political satire. I don't know.
Maybe,
but it did feel kind of comical how they were like, "Well, we can't do it after the 4th of July, so let's just do it now. Let's just blow it up now."
Yeah, that's true. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do it as a big firework display. We're gonna nuke Las Vegas. Yeah, that's true.
Right, well, and you know, now I'm pretty sure it was satire because he even said the president wanted to do it because he said, and I quote, "It would be really cool." Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think it was satire, but
see, and stuff like that is where it feels a little more like Zombieland. It's a little more comedic. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I like that because Zombieland is a great movie. These kind of movies that's kind of what this movie needed, I think. But it was just it pulled off being a very, very captivating mix of a few genres that actually work together pretty well. Like the safecracker guy, for example.
He was awesome.
It's always exciting to see somebody in a movie when like things are really dire having to like crack into a giant safe. Like it's just or like a vault. I don't know. There's something about that. Like it's like the heist movies have a monopoly on that, but it's just something exciting about watching somebody crack open a big vault like that, no matter what you're watching.
So we should rob a bank is what you're saying.
So we should rob a bank, exactly. Our next podcast episode, we're going to rob a bank, ladies and gentlemen.
And then the one after that will be from inside jail.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be escaping.
Or prison, depending on if we target like a Federal Reserve or something.
It's just us running away on like a Facebook live stream with a bunch of gold bars.
We made a mistake.
Hey, everybody. This is Critic in the Comment Man. We're here with another review.
We might be taking a short hiatus.
Yeah. A 25-year hiatus.
I will say that it was, it didn't make sense to me oh, by the way, Hiroyuki Sanada was in this.
Yes.
I saw his name and I was like, wait, no way. He, why didn't he just have them, like he's already breaking the law to get in there, just be like, hey, I want the head of a zombie. Can you bring it back? For $20 million.
Like, hey guys, we're after the head of this thing. I mean, maybe he just figured they wouldn't have taken the job if they'd known he was trying to like make more of these zombies. But they were.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking too to defend it. But still, it's just weird that he's like, "Hey, go take any of the money you want in there," and then, you know, just I don't know. You might as well just tell him, and find a team who's willing to do it.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of weird how quickly he was killing people off. Like, dude, you guys are not out of the woods yet, and he's like misdirecting the girl like with the glow sticks and stuff. I'm like, bro. Like, you're going to die in here, too. Like, keep these people alive to keep yourself alive. Safety in numbers. Wait till the end to start killing these people off, if that's what you're going to do. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It was very entertaining to me. So this movie, I've was just looking this up. This is the most popular Netflix original movie ever.
Yep.
Ever. Has the most views of any Netflix original movie ever. We're kind of in a drought. We're in a little bit of a drought for really interesting content, and I think this type of movie appeals to a pretty wide audience. I mean, that's a pretty, 18 and up. If you're 18 and up, you're going to at least have some interest in watching this movie. Obviously not even 18 and up.
Of the mainstream stuff that Netflix has put out recently, this is the best. Of the last 2 years, for sure.
This is the best. This is the best, for sure. Between Stowaway, Project Power,
Midnight Sun.
What were some of the Midnight Sun? What were some of the other Netflix original, like the big Netflix original movies that they put out? The Devil All the Time. This was just better.
Yeah.
It was just a better movie. It was a more entertaining
All the action
thing.
sequences were so awesome when they're just like,
Yep.
They're so good at shooting, and they're, I don't know. It was just very, very well choreographed from beginning to end.
It was
well directed.
It was.
Zack Snyder. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Very stylized, obviously, like Zack Snyder, but like the cinematography was great. The story was compelling. It was intriguing to the point that I'm mad that I didn't get to see the zombies get rained on. That's all it comes down to, is I wanted to see it because I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a sequel,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you bring that up, because hopefully somebody will hold Zack Snyder to that if they do make a sequel. What happens to him when it rains? Do they just kind of freak out?
Or he'll release a Snyder cut.
There was. Yeah, they'll really. Yeah, exactly. 2 years later, we're gonna get a movie.
That's all rain,
and it'll just be rain. It'll just be 2.5 hours of rain exposition in between. I also like that this lady had clearly gone in and staked out this before, and she'd done this before. Like, she studied the zombies, so she kind of knew their routine. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool. It just gave the movie more depth.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Just really, really enjoyed it. I like this one a lot. The ratings for this make no sense to me. They make no sense to me. So we just got done reviewing Cruella. Okay, I don't know if that review is going to be put up before or after this movie, but just so you guys know, if you're watching this video or listening, we just reviewed Cruella on Disney+. If you've seen Cruella, not going to spoil what our ratings were or what we thought of the movie, but I'll just tell you that the audience score for Cruella was a 97%. So for Army of the Dead, I know, very different genre, very different audience, all of that. Dude, 68% critic score, 75% audience score. I would have put money on the fact that the audience score would be over an 85% for this movie. I'm very surprised that it wasn't. I just don't, I don't know. I'm surprised to see a movie like this come in that low. But where are your ratings? Where are your ratings in comparison to a 68 and a 75?
The movie calls itself out on everything that it is, from the moment it starts, and even the moments when things like the nuke are being dropped. It's very much a very stylized, almost comical, but very action packed. Very the characters almost feel like they could be in a video game. And that very much lends itself to just Zack Snyder's style and his way of being, right? So there's not much that the movie can really reach emotionally and stuff, and they try, but like a lot of the stuff just felt kind of generic, like the his daughter, and all that. Like, I don't know. It just it felt kind of two-dimensional.
Too cheesy.
Yeah,
that was a little cheesy.
Nobody's watching this kind of movie for character development like that. It'd be great. I think it'd be great to have something like that, but you already get character development where it's not a zombie movie. It's a movie about. You get it in Walking Dead, where it's people put in a zombie world, not zombies put in a people world. It's different.
Right.
This is the other one. This is a movie about the zombies. You're there to watch people slay zombies. You're not there for their stories. At some point, I think somebody will make a better zombie movie that's a little more real and more visceral. But we have already got that kind of stuff. So for what this is, everything is well done. The cinematography, the pacing, the writing is a little spotty, so that loses points for me. But overall, it's an entertaining movie, and I'm stuck somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8. And I think I have more things that I wish they would fix than I enjoyed. So I think I'm gonna go with the 7. I'm gonna go with 7.5.
You gotta lock it in.
But
yeah, I get that.
It's a solid 7.5.
Is fair.
It's almost an 8.
7.5 is fair. For somebody just sitting down one evening and wanting to watch a movie, on a Friday night, and this was the movie that I picked, really entertaining. I
would absolutely rewatch it.
Yeah, from the common man point of view, very much enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good blend, like we said already, of a couple genres of movie that are already pretty fun to watch. Really like the characters, really like the story, really like the world they set up, and I'm very excited for a sequel. I'm going to give this one an 8.5, and I'm pretty happy with that. As far as zombie movies go, I think this one is right up there. It's an entertaining movie, and it's fun. Obviously, some things we didn't like. The alpha zombies were a little cheesy. Some of the exposition about the characters was a little bit cheesy. And then just some of the things like the tiger and whatnot I didn't love. I thought that was a little bit goofy. But for the most part, really enjoyed this movie, to be honest, and very excited for a sequel. And I think that justifies a pretty decent rating. So 8.5 it is. So there you go, people. 7.5 from the critic, 8.5 from the common man. Let us know what you guys think down below. Leave a thumbs up, leave a thumbs down. Subscribe to us if you like this kind of content. Chris, do you have anything else for Army of the Dead before we jump into our current event for today?
Which, you know what that means.
That's zombie for no. Gotcha.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, before we jump into our current event, again, let us know what you think down below of Army of the Dead.
Subscribe.
We will respond. Let's get a discussion going. Let's jump into it. Chris, big news this week. Amazon has purchased MGM. Amazon is now the proud owner of MGM Studios.
Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer.
I think, obviously, the biggest... Yes, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. The biggest part or the biggest asset I think that MGM has right now would be their James Bond franchise. And you know what? We talked about this very recently when we watched and reviewed Without Remorse. So if you guys haven't seen Without Remorse, that is the Michael B. Jordan, Tom Clancy story that was on Amazon. Chris and I literally talked in that review about how Amazon seems to stick to certain genres of content. And they really double down on that. The Boys, Invincible, Without Remorse, not Tom Clancy. What's the freaking John Krasinski thing?
Jack Ryan?
Jack Ryan. Yeah. Jack Ryan. Yes, Jack Ryan. Man on the High Castle, Hunters. They pick these...
Like action, historical drama.
Yes, they pick these themes, and then they at least double or triple up. Amazon is now going to, I think, capitalize on the James Bond franchise, which seems to be kind of like Doctor Who, where that seems to be something that can sort of go on forever. You just keep eventually getting a new James Bond, and the story's kind of the same, but kind of different every time. And you know what you're getting. It's a fun espionage movie. So what do you think about that, hearing that, man? Does that do anything to you as far as, when you hear Amazon buys MGM, does that get you going?
I mean, I am sporting a half chub just thinking about it. So
good.
Good. No, it is definitely Amazon. It's weird, man, that Amazon is just so money hungry that they're just buying all these. Like at some point, you think the U.S. government's going to step in and be like, "Is this a monopoly?"
Yeah, it's getting close, right?
Yeah, like they make so much money, but no, you know what? I'm all for it. It is a little weird that a company that started selling books is now the owner of one of the largest and one of the original major motion picture companies. Like, they have been around since filmmaking.
So this purchase was either 8.6 or 6.8 billion, B as in boy, $billion. And Amazon's just no problem, sign the check.
If Amazon was making shitty content, I would be worried. But you know what? After watching Invincible and all that, I'm willing to let them try at this whole major motion picture thing. So
yeah, and to be fair, I would say more so after watching The Boys, only because Invincible was already written.
True.
Like, that comic already existed. But your point remains valid. Amazon has been making really good content, and so it excites me for this. And I think James Bond in particular is right up Amazon's alley. They've got a lot going in this sort of action, espionage, and adventure type movies. Dude, so I'm just excited. I mean, is anything really going to change? Are they going to come in and clear house at MGM and put their own people in there? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. There will be some merging going on.
Just reorganizing.
But
yeah.
Right. They say the biggest reason why mergers and acquisitions don't work is because of differences in culture. Usually, if you can kind of just let the company do their thing as they were previously, it usually works out a little bit better. So it'll probably be pretty hands-off. They clearly see a potential big profit on the James Bond movie franchise. What else has MGM putting out? What is MGM responsible for?
Oh, man, pretty much all of the major classics that you can think of.
Okay.
I would ask Siri, but she is currently being used.
Understood.
But well, you know what? I know MGM is responsible for this, and also this, and I know you probably weren't thinking about it, but they also did this. So.
Oh, dude, I never would have guessed that one.
So I mean, it's amazing.
Never would have guessed that one. Yep, that is amazing. Well, yeah, that's it. So some news, you guys, coming out from the big heavy hitters this week. Amazon, of course, now the owner of MGM. So we'll see if anything changes, if we get any big shifts in the James Bond series. Other than that, Chris, I think that's all I got for you today, man. Do you have anything else for Army of the Dead or the big news that Amazon is now the owner of MGM?
Did you know that James Cameron is actually the one who drew naked Kate Winslet from Titanic?
Wow. Yeah. He's got quite the eye, quite the artistic eye.
So now you know.
God. Oh, it's unbelievable. All right, everybody. That's it. Critic and the Common Man, our review today of Army of the Dead. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave a subscribe. Go find us on Instagram, Critic and the Common Man on Instagram. Go to our website, www.criticandthecommonman.com. Actually, yeah, what is our website? Criticandthecommonman.com. Yeah, it is. I couldn't remember if it was like catcm.com, but no, it's not. Criticandthecommonman.com. Catcm.com was already taken.
A whole other video.
Yeah.
I mean, website.
That other one is adult rated, to say the least.
It's illegal in most countries,
including the United States. Do not go there. All right, everybody. That's it. Army of the Dead. Chris, we are out of here. So long, everybody.
Peace.